Welcome. My name is Barney Reese. I'm the author of How Blessed You Are in God's Promises. I'm going to talk to you about the concepts of the universe. Some of the things that I'm learning since I'm going for abundance, I'm learning a lot about financial education. So I'm going to share some of this with you today just because I've been listening to it for the last, 3 or 4 days now, books. So I'll share some information with you so maybe some of it will sink down to you. The reason I started financial education is when you face flat on your face in any business, you need to figure out what you're doing wrong. If you're having trouble holding on to money, even though you make almost $40 an hour, you need to figure out what's going on. If you're spending more money than you make, you need to see what's going on. If you're constantly going to the left instead of the right, you need to figure out why you're doing this and change the way you think and the way that you perceive things. Now, when you decide to become wealthy or living in abundance, this doesn't mean that you are a penny pincher. What this means is you save more than you spend. Now, I try to explain this. For every dollar you have, you should be saving a dime. Now, as you do this, over time, it's going to seem like nothing. You should never, ever think that you're doing anything differently. The reason that most people fail first attempt in learning is they quit. You only fail when you quit. So let's say you want to own a business. Well, you start looking at businesses and figure out what you're good at. Or you write down on a piece of paper things that you would be good at. You do this until it becomes natural to you. You listen to financial education. The more educated you become, the more you'll do in your life. Some people do a lot of different things. So these are things that you do. So it's time to... So this is the things that you're kind of looking at and not doing. Now, as time goes on, you become the best version of you, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, health-wise, as well as emotionally. Now, when you do this, you don't have these ties and things that you're not doing. I believe in the snowball effect. Over time, you're like a small snowball at the top of a hill, and over time, you'll pick up more and more skills and things as you do this. Now, financial education is easy because you've got YouTube. YouTube will give you wealth of information for little to no effort whatsoever. You'll learn that everything happens for a reason. So if you're learning this, just to give you an example, I still do 100 push-ups. I still do 100 squats. I still get up and go to the gym in the morning. By 4:20, I'm out of the house and I'm going to the gym, and I work out anywhere from 20 to 30 to 45 minutes a day. Why do I do this? Because I can. I get to. When you learn to say I get to look at things, then you start to do this. Now, what you are really doing is brainstorming them things that you want to do. When you're learning financial education, you're preparing yourself to buy more assets than liabilities. You learn that a house is a liability unless you're renting it out. Now, there's hacks to this. One is that you can buy a big house and you could rent 3 rooms of it out and live in one of it and live for free. People do it all the time if you had good roommates. You could also buy a house, fix it up, and then rent it out and make what they call cash flow. Now, how this works is, let's say you bought a house and your note was $500. You would charge $7, $8, $9, $10, $1,000, whatever the case may be, after paying all expenses. Why? You're trying to have a cash flow. Now, once you do this, you start to become making money. There's a lot of people that do that and get wealthy, and it's tax-free because your debt cannot be taxed. When you invest in stocks, you're only going to pay roughly about a 15% if you was to cash out early. These are things to consider when you're doing things like this. Why is this important? You want to learn about capital gains and how they work. So you need to do some research on this stuff. Now, I recommend this if you're going for whatever, health, wealth, and happiness. In that order, you want to be healthy before you become wealthy. Because it would suck if you was wealthy and had lost all your health. Try to find something that you're good at, something that you're passionate about, something that you could easily scale and make a good business with. What I mean by scale is making it bigger and bigger for those that may not understand this. If you were selling popcorn, you wouldn't always want to be the vendor selling popcorn. You would eventually want to get online where you were selling popcorn online and then hire other people to replace you so you could go do other things elsewhere. You also want to have more than one income. Open a business, start a side hustle, things of that nature. Either invest in stocks, bonds, real estate, something that's going to give you a return. A business is fine if it gives you a return. If you're going to open a business, look at businesses that's already made and going. Look at the ones that have failed and look at yourself at that. Also, look at your competition when you open a business. A lot of people open a business and think they're going to be successful. Trust me, this doesn't work that way. This is why I had to go back to square one and figure out what I was doing wrong. I've opened a lot of things. I've opened a gun shop. I've opened a mechanic shop. I've opened a car lot. I've sold shoes, I've sold carpet, things like that. I've been in sales all my life. We had a business when I was younger. We sold fireworks, pecans, and souvenirs and things of that nature when I was growing up. So I've been in business most of my life, so I know a lot about it. But even then, I made mistakes. And then I learned something that I would have never known. You got to believe it before you can have it. In other words, you have to believe that one day you'll be wealthy, you'll be a millionaire, you'll be a billionaire, and then you have to put in the work, the effort. If you don't, it just is not going to magically happen. You can rub the paint off the magic genie in the lamp and saying, I'm going to, but if you don't put no action to it, you can't do it. This is why I recommend you listen to skills. People use the car as a classroom. Remember, you have YouTube, so you have free access for as long as you possibly can do. How often does this happen? Every single day. If you're smart, you find a book and you listen to it. You find a podcast and you listen to it. Your mind is a supercomputer, 15 of them to be exact. So when all this stuff gets together, and then when you imagine things and you have the ability to go out and try to do it, then great. And it doesn't matter how you do it, you just start brainstorming on how you're going to do it. These are how the most successful people in the world do this. They get up an hour early and they go to sleep an hour later than you do. Every single day. They do this Monday through Friday or whatever their time schedule is. They work harder in their business than they would a regular job. What I mean by that is they put in the hours and the time. Sometimes they put in more hours than people could imagine to get things off the ground. They can't afford to hire nobody, so they have to do everything. But they eventually scale it so they can move out from underneath it. They're constantly reading and learning about skills and things that's going to help them to be the best version of them. And they do this constantly. For those that think this is just fiction, you can't be the billionaire next door, they do it every day. These people don't look like they have anything, but yet they have started invested at a very young age. Time is not your friend. So if you invested $100 when you was in your 18, 19, 20, and somebody invested in their 30s, which one do you think would have the most money at 65? The person in their 20s, the same amount. So you decide what's important to you. I hear people all the time talk about, I'm in debt $140,000. I'm in debt $150,000. I'm in debt $160,000. I'm in debt $200,000. Oh, I just got to get myself out of debt. I can't believe I got $15,000 on a credit card. You figure out ways to pay off your debt. So the snowball effect is a good way. And this is from Dave Ramsey and some of the other experts. And it's very simple. You pay the highest note off, and then over time you pay the next highest interest loan off, and you pay the next highest interest loan off. You put your 401k on either very low amounts until your bills are paid. Your best bet is to become completely debt-free. Because when you're debt-free, you don't owe anybody anything. You're not owing to the URSA. You own your home. You own your car. You own everything else. This is the way to go. The wealthy got wealthy by not investing with others. They didn't go to URSAs to get more money. People that borrow money pay more interest than somebody who does not. So I hope this helps whoever needed to hear this today. And I know it's a little bit different, but it really is based on best version of you. And I hope I gave you some good financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you some free advice, and you can check into this if you would like. As always, love yourself, for you truly are well loved. Thank you, and goodbye.